Okay, so after the airport incident and taking shelter of Ramananda Prabhu, then 2 years later, Senior Vaishnavas requested me to open a temple, and which was confirmed or endorsed by Gurudev. And then I went to Stuttgart, and it took us quite some time to find a proper place. I actually stayed in the end I stayed with Ramananda Prabhu for 2 months, who is a very senior Prabhupada disciple, who actually brought Gurudev into Germany the first time in '99 and hosted him. So I stayed with him, and he engaged me in the service of his Radharaman deities and Shalagram Shilas, and then the fruit of that worship that I did every day, then we just Krishna arranged for the perfect place. It all just came to me. I didn't do anything apart from worshipping Radharaman. So then when we finally had the temple and we signed the contract and everything, then I just got so much absorbed, sidetracked with management and financial issues, and then my sadhana became weak, and I became victim to my mind and senses. And so then when I returned the first time to India in Navadvip Parikrama, my heart was heavy with sorrow and guilt and felt horrible. And I arrived a few days early. That time we still didn't have a proper building on that property. I think that year only the kitchen was built already. We still were in this huge pandal, and Gurudev had a house outside the temple property. So just shortly after I arrived, I met Uttam Krishna Prabhu from Orissa, who's a very senior brahmachari that I have a very affectionate relationship with, and so much respect for him. I shared a room with him once for some time, for a week or two, and I witnessed how strong he is in his sadhana, and he's very, very fixed. I had so much respect for him. Anyhow, I met him, and then we both wanted to see Gurudev, so we went together. So we went to Gurudev's house, went upstairs and went to his room, and Gurudev was just sitting on his bed, relaxed, like in his posture that he usually does, where he has the one leg over the other and the foot kind of just dangling there. So he's just sitting there casually, and just the both of us come into the room, and Gurudev sees us, and we give our obeisances, and he gives I don't remember actually if there was any conversation with Uttam Prabhu or not. Only when it was my turn to talk to Gurudev, I could hardly get a word out. I felt just my heart was so heavy with guilt and sorrow, but Gurudev, he did, I couldn't say anything, and Gurudev said, "Hey, look at him," like he pointed at Uttam Prabhu. "He's so lean and thin. Just one wind blow will come and he will fall away. But you are strong." He did like that. "You're strong." And I was kind of perplexed. I didn't really. Also, I had for some reason sometimes I have problems hearing. I didn't probably understand Gurudev, and then he gave us Jagannath Prasadam. And then we went outside, and while I was chewing that Jagannath tongue, I asked Uttam, "What did Gurudev just say?" Then he repeated, and then I had to laugh. I had to laugh so much because, I respect Uttam Prabhu is so much senior to me, but he made like a comparison just based on our physique, and it was like a joke, you know. Anyhow, it made me crack up laughing, and with that laughter, each laughter just made my heart lighter and lighter, and as soon as I was done laughing, I just felt completely, you know, all that heaviness and everything had gone, just by, you know, Gurudev just making a light joke, you know, like, look at him, he's lean and thin, just one wind blow will take him, you know, crumble him, and you're strong, like that.
Okay, so I think everyone would relish when Gurudev maybe glanced at us or spoke to us or somehow joked with us or glorified us. It was like the sun came out, and it was like the happiest moment you could possibly feel. You felt like in a warm cloud. But as we know, that's not all there is to our relationship with Guru. We saw many people who had very intimate relationships with Gurudev later even leave Krishna consciousness. So basically we have to develop an internal relationship with Guru, especially when Sri Guru leaves this world, because then that's when that relationship's tested, because he's not there giving that encouragement and you know, kind words, etc. Well, Srila Gurudev, he started that kind of operation on me quite early. He started to, well, just totally ignore me for many years, actually, which sometimes got me so frustrated I thought I was going to die, and other times I was so angry, so I flipped from different emotions. He got me so stirred up. Actually, no other man on this planet has ever created these kind of emotions in me. So, like for instance, one time I remember coming to India, and we'd been working so hard, myself and Sita Thakurani, we'd been doing the centre here in London and really trying hard. And when we arrived, I kind of knew he was going to ignore me, and actually I didn't even go for the darshan, and Sita went. And she got a pat on the head even, and how happy he was with the preaching centre and the work. So a little hope rose in me, and I thought, oh, you know, maybe I'll get something, a glance. So afterwards we went to Vrindavan, and funny enough, it was early morning, and I was walking down the Jamuna river chanting, and Gurudev and just a few devotees, not many, had gone on a little morning walk, secret one, down Keshi Ghat, and they were coming back, and there was just Gurudev and Madana and Brajana, maybe one other devotee, very small party. And I hadn't been noticing because I was just kicking around the das, looking at the floor for things not to tread in, because I was not wearing any flip-flops. And then when I just looked up, and Gurudev was just basically in my face, you know. So I was stunned, and I paid my obeisances, and I was like, oh, Haribol, Gurudev, Dandavat. And then Gurudev was just like, I've never seen anyone stare through anyone like it in my life. You know, he just, no expression, just stared straight through me like I was a ghost. And I was like, perhaps he hasn't recognised me. And then Bhajanath also thought the same thing, and he was saying, this is Kamala, she's from Ganga Matas, you're preaching your girls in London. And Gurudev, no, still zero expression. This time he just turned, looked at me, like I was just like a piece of stool on his shoe, just like that. It was so hard, his stare. And I was just crippled. I just felt like it was a blow, you know. And I just stood there, and then they just continued walking past me. I couldn't move. And so he just continued walking, and I was just left, bereft, you know. And I just remember just sitting on the Keshi Ghat, just crying, you know, like a child. And yeah, that was the start of it, really. It got worse after that. And I started to get used to the fact that, you know, he was probably Not going to even mention anything at all. I remember one time in Holland, we were waiting, I was ready to give him some subji, and everybody started saying my name at that time. There was Brajanath, Madhav Maharaj, Brinda Didi, all saying, "It's Kamala." And Gurudeva was going, "Who? It's Kamala." "What? It's Kamala from Ganga Matas." And he went, "Kamala," like that, and then started laughing. And I thought, "You joker, you do know who I am. You're putting it on, you know." So anyway, that was quite fun. That was quite a fun time. But another time I remember going with Sita to a darshan, and he was like, we were actually just going to deliver some vegetables and stuff we brought. And Dvija Krishna Prabhu said, "Oh, go upstairs, he's having darshan." So we went upstairs, and that was in the mat there, Gopinath. No, it's not in the mat, it was in Gopinath Bhavan, there by the Jamuna River. And he had his bhajan kuti upstairs, and we went there, and as soon as we came in, Sita was, you know, "Oh, my darling daughter," and started talking to her, and they had this repertoire going on, and it was really great. And I was like going, "Oh, well, that's nice," you know. I was just kind of trying to like take the warmth off that, you know, and I think, "Oh, that's good." But then Brajanath, you know, stood up and said, "And this is Kamala, your other daughter," you know. And then Gurudev just looked at me. And then he started, and anger started rippling over his face. He started going, and he's looking at me and started to chastise me. "You took Aranya Maharaj away," like this. And that was one of his sannyasis who actually left sannyas. And then he started to say, "Ambika," like this. And I was like, and then Bhajan was saying, "This is not Ambika. This is your good disciple." This is not that Ambika is not his good disciple, but he was trying to say, this is a different person. This is not Ambika. And then he didn't say anything. He just went. He was in his bed and lay down. He was like just like lounging in his bed, and I was just like, "What?" And this frustration was building so much in me that I was just now going to pop, you know. And Sita paid her obeisances. Of course, we'd only just come in. We hadn't even had opportunity to pay our obeisances because he was just talking straight away to Sita. So then I thought, okay, so I paid my obeisances as well. Well, I was there. I was getting more and more angry, and I was really trying to keep it down. And I sat up, and I was just next to his bed. His face was just next to mine, and he was lying on the bed there, and I was just next to the bed. And he just looked at me in a cheeky way and just went like this. Like that. Like what do you have to say? And so I knew that he knows everything, so I couldn't say that, and I don't want to doubt Sri Guru, right? I'm not so stupid and emotional. But I was still feeling so much different emotions, frustrations. My intelligence, luckily, was kind of there. And then I looked at him and I said, "Gurudev, how do I know you know who I am?" Right? And then at that, a little bit smiled, and he looked and he said, "I'm happy with the preaching in London." I thought, "Rats, you're so clever." And I had this it was like a lotus stem. It's Chinese vegetable, and it was in a plastic, vac-packed, but because it had been on the aeroplane, it kind of turned into a balloon. and it was just bang. I was just banged it on the bed, and I was thinking, "Oh well, if you're happy, then that's great. That's just great. Doesn't matter about me." And I just put it on there like that, and because I knew there's nothing I could say, because we're supposed to be here to be pleasing Guru, right? So I was like, "Oh, great." And then he said, "And what is this?" And he took it, and he just started shaking it. And I had to laugh, actually. He's like shaking it. Rajnath kindly was saying, it's a very good vegetable for you, Gurudev. It's good for your heart. It's just, people are going like this, but why is it like this?" He's going, "Oh, because it's been in the aeroplane." anyway, I kind of trudged back to the room and I started to think, oh, I'm lucky. He's wanting me, he's trying to drag me to go inside a little bit and to feel connected inside. Because Guru is such a tattva that he's within our heart. And this is where we need to make that connection, because then that's strong. You know, if we're dependent on externals and they don't come, it's also not conditional. This is a conditional type of relationship. So he's trying to teach that.
At one of Gurudev's festivals in Murwillumbah, around 2005, I'm not sure if it was a little earlier than that actually. I'm getting older now, so the memories start to all merge into one. But I cooked for Gurudev's festival, and I cooked fairly much right through for the whole 10-day festival. I was in charge of the whole kitchen, and it was great because I love doing that seva. So towards the end of the festival, I had darshan with Gurudev. It was just Gurudev and myself. Actually, there wasn't anybody else there. But that doesn't mean I'm making this up. But it was just Gurudev and myself. And after I paid obeisances, the first thing Gurudev said to me, he says, "How did you learn to cook such wonderful prasad?" And I was really shocked because I was going there to glorify Gurudev, and immediately he was glorifying me, and I was a bit taken aback, and I got a little bit tongue-tied because I should have just said straight away, "Oh, it's simply your mercy, Gurudev." But I said, I learned in ISKCON, and I had a restaurant. So, and Gurudev said, "Everybody's saying your prasad is the best that they've ever had." And I said, "I thank you, Gurudev. It's your mercy." Then he said to me, and it was an instruction, and year after year I always meditate on this instruction, but I've never been able to fulfill it. Although it's getting close to that point now where, you know, it may be going to happen. So I'm feeling pretty excited. Actually today especially, that's why I'm relating this, because I'm feeling a bit excited today. Then Gurudev said to me, "I want that you go to Navadvip Parakram and you cook prasadam for all the devotees." He said, "Then we will have the best prasadam in all the world," he told me. Wow. And I didn't know what to say at all about that. And you know, I kind of at the time I thought, he's just trying to make me feel a little good about myself or something. But actually, he wasn't, because that instructions never left my mind. And the next parakram I went to Navadvip, and I went into the kitchen and I saw these woks about the size of my car. And I saw a fire, and just standing at the door I started sweating. And I thought I can't do that. So I got balked and I walked away. And Ramananda Prabhu was there as well, and I was a little intimidated just walking in and saying, "Hold on, Gurudev says I'm the one that should cook here." This is my prasad's the best in all the world. Everyone just give me that oar and I'm going to start rowing the boat. So I felt a little intimidated, and it didn't happen. And I tried again the next year, and same thing. I felt a bit intimidated again. So I kind of put it to the back of my memory. But now we've arranged to cook gulab jamuns for Anukut. The funny thing about this Anukut too, because I'll tell you, because I've been cooking gulab jamuns for Govardhan pretty much every Kartik Parakram, every Govardhan Parakram I've been cooking for probably since 2007. I've been cooking gulab jamuns for Govardhan. And then this year, when I was coming to Kartik, it didn't really, I had so many things to get together, and it didn't really, kind of wasn't right in the front of my mind that that's what I should do. And then I was talking to Brinda Didi online, on Facebook, about arranging a car and arranging accommodation. And then at the end of her message, she said, "And are you going to cook gulab jamuns for Govardhan?" And so I thought, oh, actually that's Govardhan's asking, can I come and cook the gulab jamuns for him? So I said, well, it's not impossible. And then I went out and bought all the ingredients and packed them in my bag. So it's definitely possible, and it's going to happen today. So because I've just arranged all this cooking for Anukut, for the gulab jamuns, I've spoken to all the brahmacharis who are in charge of cooking. And I've said, look, I want to bring a lot of ingredients next year and get really involved in cooking at Navadvip. And they said, yeah, they're rapt. They're all really happy, and they're all saying, "Oh, we want to." They all want to. There's about two or three that want to come and watch us cooking gulab jamun, so they can learn something. Because we're old ISKCON cooks, aren't we? So we really know how to cook. So that was the direct instruction from Gurudev. That so even now, it's like it's 2015, and that instruction, it has more importance to me now. It's just a little thing, but it has more importance to me now. It has much more meaning now than it did when it was given to me. So, the instructions of Gurudev that I've received, they're like that. They're not in any sense are they material that you just get told. There's no use by date. There's no throw out date.
So one time in a Holland festival, Gurudev was giving a darshan, morning darshan. Actually, it was an afternoon darshan because, as usually, I was sleeping, and then I heard devotees running. I was sleeping on the grass next to a car in the shadow, and I saw devotees running towards Gurudev's room. So I thought, okay, there's a darshan. So I stood up, half asleep again, running towards the garden right behind Gurudev's chalet where he was staying. And he was giving a darshan. So I went there, give pranam, and then the desire must have been there again, because he started talking about marriage to me and saying why you shouldn't do it, and he was saying how it's really bad, and then you said the wife will be there, and then you'll have many children. And then he reached out, and I had a lot of hair at that time, and he grabbed me by the hair in the front and pulled it, and he was like, and they will be pulling your hair, daddy, 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 and he let go again like that, and I said, you have no time to do any bhajan. And he was laughing. He was laughing, and I was laughing also, like, and so there was again a very nice message that he passed on to me, which to some degree for a very short period of time I tried to follow also. Okay, and then the funny thing is that many years later, when my daughter Nalini was born, when she was a small baby, she actually had that habit of whenever I would go to her that she would pull my hair exactly in the same place. And indeed, for many days I didn't chant a single round.